The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Doug in New Jersey. Hey, Doug, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
Absolutely. It's my job.
There you go, man.
Tom, I just got your new book, and got to say, anybody who does technical analysis has got to buy your book. And further, it's the biggest bargain on the face of the earth, and, people will just throw money at anything, but I would only suggest that people have got to read it. It's a must-read.
I appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements, folks. Communicate with clarity. Communicate with others as clearly as you can be to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all our relationships would change. There'd be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. You hit the Dow up 145, NASDAQ up 41, S&P's up 16, gold contract up $4.60, trading at $1,501 an ounce. Silver up 30 cents at $33.88. Platinum up $16 at $1,690 an ounce. Copper up 4 pennies at $4.09 a pound. Light sweet crude up $2.29, trading out at $92.91 a barrel. Bonds down a point and 7 ticks at 124.09. Dollar index down 36 ticks, trading at 75.46. Euro up 6 ticks at 1.43. Yen up 23, trading out at 81.42. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Okay, we're at 1296. You're coming into the swing point of 1298. I suspect we're going to be running this baby up to somewhere around the 1330 mark. You did 800 million out here today. 800 million versus the 835 of yesterday. What are we setting up here? We're setting up the B to a C of an ABC structure on the way down. We came down 112 S&P points from 1370 to 1258. Bottom line, counter trend bounce, 1330 is on the agenda here. It's going to get interesting when we get into the 1312, 1314, 1314 number. Why? Because that's where it's going to start getting a little flack. That's your S&Ps. Dow Industrials, what do you have with the Dow Industrials of this? Dow Industrials, same setup, up a buck 45. You're coming into the small swing of the 21st. The 21st, we had volume of 856 million. Today it did 803. That'll get over it. I suspect tomorrow we'll see whether we get any juice as we get over that small swing point. The composite, NASDAQ composite. Now, if you remember, the composite was the indice that broke the March 16th low, did it on dramatically lighter volume, closed inside it. So what you had first off is that it gets under 2603, gets to 25.99, but then closed at 26.30. It did that with 1.9 billion shares versus 2.6. So it's a false break downtown after you've already come down from 28.87 to 26. NASDAQ composite today gets over the 22nd. Now watch how this works, folks. We got over the 22nd, and you did it with slightly higher volume. What that sets up, bottom line, is that you can take the 26.93, you take the bottom with the 2,500, you could add 93 onto the 26, so you're dealing with 27 right off the bat. I mean, you're dealing with 2,800. So 2,800 gets you into that's a beautiful thing. I love it. The 2,800 mark gets you into the bottom, the lows of May 31st. And the 1330 on the S&P is the same place. Now, let's take a look at the small caps, the Russell 2000. If you take a look at the Russell 2000, what the Russell 2000 did out here today is this. It looks to me, if you have my new book, The Art of Time in the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, the Russell 2000 is setting up it's setting up a large B to C of an ABC down. That's the first thing it's doing. And the parameter inside that is either downward volume or up and lighter volume, which we have. Then what it's also doing, off of the May 31st swing high, it's also setting up a Tiger Gartley. And what a Tiger Gartley would be is that A to B, meaning A is your point down at June 16th, which is the low. B is the high of the 22nd. Your C is the low of the 23rd. So A to B equals C to D. You're going to pass the B point with lighter volume. What we did out here today, we passed a small B point with lighter volume. I expect we're going to go into the 0.786 with lighter volume. It's going to be sweet, lining all these babies up. Now, let's go over to the bond market. Why bonds? Well, what you have, the correlation is direct. Bonds today smoked again, but watch what happened here, folks. Bonds came down 1.5 ticks. We did it with 377,000 contracts. That is going into 428,000 contracts. It's going into 326,000 contracts. The way that's set up is right now, if we bring this over, and I'll bring it into the TLT for you, is this. Is that you're at 94.88. That means you got into the bar of the 16th, which is 94.94. You're doing it with lighter volume. Now, I expect it's going to go lower, but what you're going to line up here is at the bottom of 93.08. More than likely, that's the end of the move down with bonds. You start getting a bounce back up again, and what that bounce back up again should line up with is the 1330 in the S&P. You continue higher with lighter volume. That is a large ABC structure on the way down. We take a look at some of the high volume stocks out here today. This is what you have. You had Pfizer up 38 cents. You had JP Morgan Chase down 34. Altria was off 41. We had Freeport McMoran up $1.75. Las Vegas Sands was up $1.91. We go over to the gold contract. Gold, once again, just couldn't handle it. Gold today went from decent price spread, $14.95 to $15.07. Closes out at $15.01. Does volume of 92,000. What is it doing? It's building cause to get into that swing low of 14.64. Now, what's getting dangerous in the contract itself is this, is that we came off the last high of 15.59. First day down, you did 238,000 contracts. Ended up at a low, and the volume contracted. What 129,000 contracts. What we did today is dangerous in the aspect that you try to get into a higher high, and the volume absolutely died. You go sideways a little bit more, that's saying it's building cause to get into those lows out there. The GLD, which traded 10% of the price of gold. This little baby closed up 51. The swing low that it wants to go after is 142 with 51 million shares. Went to a higher high today with 8 million shares versus downtown with 19 and 24 million. Big problem here. We'll see how it attacks this swing low that was generated out there on the 5th of May. But the way it's setting up right now, it has some problems behind it. We had Big Blue was up 239. You had Big Mac up 203. Walmart was up 24. You had Amazon up $1.10. Let's go take a look at Amazon. Amazon's getting to the top of that range out here, and sure enough, there she goes. So watch this, folks. Amazon's going to be a good telltale out here. Amazon, on the 27th, had gone from a price point of 182 to 197. That's the 27th of April. Nice volume, 23 million. We get up to highs with 4 million. You go back with 9. Now, yesterday, You had 6 million today. We had 3 million. It pushed into a higher high. It looks to me like Amazon's topping this baby off too. And Amazon is going to be a huge telltale. The reason being is that Amazon has been one of the strongest stocks coming off the March 09 lows. We go take a look at Big Blue out here. What do you have inside Big Blue? What Big Blue does today, she does 4.7 million shares. She's going into 7.3 million. Deviant, yeah, big time. There's a little swing point out there that she got over today with 4.7 million versus 9.1. That means that number one wants to get into the high, which is that 173.48 area. So we'll see how she attacks that high once she can get into it. Let's see if Walmart had any juice out here. Walmart rejected a lower price out here today of 52.15. Trades out at the 52.53. Not much juice underneath that baby, no doubt. Now, what we're going to have news-wise, of course, coming in here is going to be the vote in Greece is going to be out there tomorrow. Bottom line, folks, okay, the way this market is set up right now is that this market does want to bounce into the 1330. We'll see what comes down on the whole Greece deal, but I suspect that whether it's the Greece deal, whether it's going to be our own financial debacle politically, meaning the debt ceiling, we'll see what wants to make this thing come down to the next leg. But this is absolutely setting up the next leg down. Now, the next leg down does not necessarily have to go break right off the bat that March 16th low. You know, if it's an ABC down, as it goes attacks the 1258 S&P number, you break it with volume, it's an ABC down. If it's going to have to build more cause, what you'll see is that will chop around. But when we're chopping around here, we're chopping around in a 112-point range. That's a monster range, folks. You know, so we'll see how the volume dies on the vine as we get into that 1330 area. The volume, no doubt, has been dying on the vine as we're going up. If you want to take a look at the SPY, what you have is that the SPY, we had first little swing point up here on the 21st. You had 193 million. We had come down with 300 million. Friday, it did 226 million. Yesterday, we did 168, and today we did 157. And so as you get into higher price, and what you also want to take into consideration is that this has been going on now, going all the way back to January, folks. This is a 6-month deal. This has been building a 6-month high up here. Huge distribution going on. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the markets, folks, we had the Dow up 145, Nasdaq up 41, S&P's up 16, gold up 560, trading at 1502, silver up 34 at 33.92. We're going to be right back.
Tiger University's Tiger Trading Tracks is your blueprint to building a solid foundation of